Hello, everyone. My name is Kalisha Worrell. I am a author, international #1 best-selling author, coach, speaker. I'm so excited for you to be here today because we are building our lives together. This is a community to where we support each other. We design our lives in our mind first and build our outside world second. So today, I'm so excited to talk about so many great things with releasing your greatness and releasing the anchors of your life. Too many times we walk through life with a smile on our face. We appear that everything is going our way. Everything is great, right? We tap into our social media, we go to Facebook, we go to Instagram, and all we see is smiles, cars, luxury homes, happiness all around. But then when that screen shuts off, it's another story. We're looking at our circumstances. We're looking at our true friend list, not the ones who push like and hearts on your social media, but the ones who truly can surround you and support you in your dreams and goals. And you hear crickets. What do you do when that happens? What do you do? We are about to enter a whole new chapter. We are about to enter 2022. And I'm asking you, how are you going to enter 2022? Are you going to look back and say, man, I should have did that last year. Man, I should have got the ball rolling. I should have connected. I should have plugged in, tuned in to everything around me that said opportunity, and I passed it up. I want you today to be open. Have your mind set wide open for the opportunities and the mindset that the universe has to give you and that God birthed you to be. Because all great things are truly yours, but it's your decision to take that step, move forward past what anyone says, past what you even think about yourself, and break through to the other side. There's a famous quote, and it says, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek." That's such a profound quote. I know in my life, there has been a time, I remember I was going through a really rough time in my life. Okay. And things were not, it was appearing like everything was okay because opportunities were coming and I continued to say yes to them. So on the forefront, it looked okay. But on the back end, on that back end, things were not going well. So what happened was I was offered an opportunity to be a part of something that I thought was really great. Now, I was being offered amazing tools, amazing resources, right? I was surrounded by people who really had so much value for what was going on, what we were all plugged into. But what I didn't know that I was entering a cave. I felt the tension and I still continued to walk and say, this is what I need to go in there and get what I need to get. Now, I want to warn you, when you walk into your cave in your life, you may not know that you're entering your cave right away, right? You may not know it. You just know that you're going after your goals and your dreams. But guess what? When it gets scary, when you feel ashamed, when you feel humiliated about things, when you feel hurt, but you keep holding on to that goal in your dream, you're just about to enter your cave. And I want to tell you, someone's in there. There's people in there who are betting on you to lose, to be devoured by your fears. There's people in there who don't want you to win. But I have something for you. I want to tell you, just like Mr. Les Brown says, bet on you. It's not over until who wins? Until you win. So I want you to go into your cave, whatever that may be today. Whatever you fear, whatever is holding you back. We're going to be talking about releasing these anchors today with Tanya Powell. She is an amazing power pack woman. And I want you to enter that cave and get the treasure, because the quote says, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. And I want you to enter that cave and get that treasure. Whatever your goals and your dreams, it's not going to come easy. You've got to enter it, and then you've got to enter it sometimes alone. Success is a lonely road sometimes, but you can do it. And when you get to that treasure, you will not be the same person, because it takes courage to even walk in there. It takes courage. It takes strength. On the outside, you feel humiliated. But really, you're walking right through the very thing that could have killed you if you would have stayed with everyone else, stayed in the mentality that's always held you back, held your friends back, held your family back. Do you know that in a family, if you look around in the family, people earn $2,000 to $3,000 from each other's income? Look at it. Look at your own family. Everyone's earning about $2,000 to $3,000 close within their income. But you're on this call right now. You're in this conference right now because you know that you are a chain breaker. You will bust through. You will be the first one in your family to be able to make groundbreaking change like you are about to make, because you're made for greatness. I want you to think about your goals and dreams and aspirations in your life. I want you to think about that. And I want you to hold it in your hand and really look at it. I want you to picture a seed. Everybody with me. I want you to picture a seed. For a moment, I want you to close your eyes, and that goal or dream that you have, put it in your hand right now. Hold it up. Hold it up. And picture a seed of greatness. That's your dream. Now, I want you to picture yourself taking that seed, and it's beautiful. You don't want it to get damaged. And I want you to open up a box, a beautiful box, and put it in the box and put it on the shelf. So no one could ever touch it. So no one can ever damage it and destroy the beautiful things it has inside of it, the greatness it has inside of it, because you know, only you know, it's your seed. Only you know the great things it has inside. Now, with that seed on the shelf, way up high, so it can't be touched, it can't be damaged, guess what? It can also never grow. It will never flourish. It will never get to birth what it was purposed to birth. I want you to think about that. When we are not opening up ourselves, when we're not stretching and taking that next step that we are called to take, it's like you putting your seed of greatness in the box on the highest shelf because you want to protect it. But guess what? In order for it to grow, what has to happen? Put in the chat right now, what has to happen for that seed to birth its purpose, for it to grow? What has to happen? Put it in the chat. Well, I can tell you, we all know the next step, and that next step is for it to be put in the dirt. Put in the dirt. Why? Why would I put my greatness, my seed that I was given? I don't care if anyone else can't see it. I don't care. I know what's in the seed. Why do I have to put it in the dirt? Because it only can grow when it's covered in dirt. It only can grow when it is pushed against resistance, when it's put in the dark. Only great things grow in the dark. Look at a baby. A baby is in the stomach, in the womb, not in the open, not on the top shelf, in the womb. And there's something special about things that grow in the dark. Something special about it. There's something really special about being able to not see what is just about to be birthed. That's you. That's your dream. There's something special about that. And when a baby is birthed, it takes a moment, but it's a breakthrough in this universe, a footprint that cannot be erased. And that's exactly what's about to happen to you. Let's go back to the story of the seed. You put that seed in the ground and you plant that seed and it gets covered with dirt. Put your seed in the ground right now. I want you to put your seed in the ground and open up that ground right now. We're going to do this together. Open up that ground, open it up, open up, open up. Get your seed, open that box, take your seed out, put it in the dirt. Cover it. Cover it. We're going to cover our seeds of greatness with dirt because there's something special that's going to happen. I know that your goals and dreams, it feels like there's dirt covering it. I know your goals and dreams feel like you're just being smushed and you're just being weighed down by all the issues of life. I know you feel like that seed. But there's something special in your dream. There's greatness within you. And guess what? Your goal and your dream is going to open right up. And somehow, that dream is going to shoot up, just like that seed, shoots right out of the dirt, even concrete, right? It pushes past the resistance. That's your goal. That's your dream, pushing past the resistance. You will push past that resistance, that issue that's holding you back. Maybe it's financially, maybe it's mentally, emotionally, some relationship, marriage, kids, whatever it is that seems to standing in your way must move. It must get out the way. It has to, because you won't stop, you can't stop, and you must not stop. So just like that seed, that's your dream. That's your goal. But guess what? It will never birth its own reality if you kept it on the shelf. You got to take your goals out. You got to take your dreams out, and you must put them in the dirt where it seems like you don't have enough finances to pay for something, but you've got to stretch yourself. You got to stretch yourself. Where you got to put it in the dirt where you feel like, man, I have so much greatness inside of me, but I feel like I've been put at the end of the line just to learn the basics. Yes, learn them, because it won't be long until you are leading the line. You don't stay, think about a line. You don't stay in the back. When it's your time, it's your time. You will not stay back there. You are here to learn. You're here to grow. You're here to design the life that you want to live, not the image that people put on you. Don't adopt the mindset of the enemy that is trying to take you down. That's good. I want you to type in the chat, rise, 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 rise. Put it in the chat. Rise, 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 because we rise together. It's throughout plugging in to a community of people who will support your goals, support your dreams. You know, it brings me to a story. There was a story of a dog and an elephant, and they were both pregnant at this exact same time. And the dog, it wasn't long until the dog had a full litter of puppies and came back to visit the elephant and congratulate the elephant too. But guess what? The elephant didn't have a baby. The elephant was still pregnant. And the dog said, okay, well, I'm going to come back in a few months. And the dog came back in a few months. And when he came back, or when she came back, the dog was with a whole nother set of litter of puppies. So now the dog, she's gone through 2 litter of puppies, and the elephant was still pregnant. Now, when the dog asked the elephant, you couldn't be pregnant. I absolutely know you're not pregnant now. How is it that you were pregnant? The elephant replied, I'm pregnant, but I have not birthed my baby yet, because I'm not birthing a little litter of puppies. I'm not birthing something small. I'm birthing an elephant. I'm birthing something big, something huge. And that's exactly what you are doing right now. You're here right now at this conference because you know you have something huge to birth. You know. And everyone else may not see exactly what you're doing or understand you, but I want you to release, because today, remember, we are talking about releasing the anchors of our lives, releasing people or things or thoughts that are holding us back. And I want you to release people, wanting people to understand you. There was a man who was asked this question: what do you not value that everybody else values? What do you not value that everyone else values? That's a good question. We're all asked, what is it that you value in life? What is it that you value in life? But this man was asked, what do you value that nobody else values? Do you know what his response was? Expecting people to understand me. That's a good one. Expecting people to understand me. I don't value that. Why? Because I don't live up to others' expectations. I live up to my own expectations of who I know who I am. I want to ask you today, are you living up to other people's expectations, or are you living up to your own expectations? There's something that I want to share with you, and I want everyone to do this together. I'm going to read something to you that is from the book Think and Grow Rich. Now, I want you to have your pens and your pad ready, and I want you to listen closely because you're about to take an action step, okay? It says, in my experience, it's taught me that the next best thing to bring truly great things in life is to emulate the great by feeling and acting as nearly as possible. Long before I had ever written a line for publication or endorsed anything to deliver a speech in public, I followed the habit of reshaping my own character by emulating by emulating 9 people. And what we're going to do today is emulate 9 people. So what I want you to do, I want you to create a list of invisible counselors. Invisible counselors. Okay? So what you're going to do is emulate men and women throughout time who have inspired you and their qualities that you wish to emulate more fully in your life. And then take a mental picture of you holding a board meeting with this group in the board meeting with you. So what are you going to do? I want you to take out your pen and your piece of paper, and I want you to write down 9 people that you want to emulate, those characters within your life. 9 people. Okay. And then I want you to have a clear mental picture of you having a board meeting with these 9 people at the table. All right. We'll go further into these steps as we progress along Destination Amazing Life to build your future that you want. But this is a very important step. You've got to have supporters. Even if it's mentally, even if it's people who you bring in, because guess what? The mind doesn't know exactly what's real or what's not. So if you tell your mind that these are the 9 board members that I have elected to lead on my journey with me, making a movement and busting through to getting my goal achieved, guess what? It shall follow. It's going to happen. So today, I want you to release your anchors. Release the things that you know are holding you back. It may be people, it may be places, it may be things, but whatever that is for you, I want you to release it. There was a time in my life where I had to take a pause. I was destined for greatness. I knew that. But the people who surrounded me were toxic and like cancer. My mentor, Barry Overton, I talked to him and I said, Barry, why do I feel like I'm dying inside? Why do I feel like every step I take, there's 3 steps taken backwards? Why? And he told me, Kalisha, when you keep toxicity in your life, people, places, or things, it's like a cancer that spreads. We all know that cancer, you can't see it a lot of the time, right? It's a silent killer, right? So are the people in your life. What's killing your dream? What's not allowing you to move forward? And even if you are moving forward, not at the speed that you know that you can go. And he said, Kalisha, when you have toxic people, places, or things in your life, it spreads like a cancer throughout the body. If you don't get it out, it's going to spread and it can kill you. I want to ask you, who's in your phone right now? Who's in your life right now that is spreading like cancer through your body, through your dream, through your goals that you keep going back to? That you keep having wins and keep telling them that. And then just like swine, you give them your gift, your seed of greatness, and they squander it. Who is that? Let's take an honest inventory in our life. You will never be able to release your greatness if you do not get these toxic people, places, things, or thoughts out of your atmosphere. So I challenge you today to write down these 9 people who you want, because you are the lead of your life. You're the lead of your destiny. I want you to write down these 9 people that you want to lead with you on your journey, who you want at that board member table, who are going to be speaking to you mentally, emotionally in your life. It could be whoever is John Tallarico, Bob Proctor, Les Brown, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey. It doesn't matter who it is. Me, your mom, your father. It doesn't matter who it is. But whoever you have at that board member table, they are the people that you've just elected to take your dream from a wish to a reality. Impacting people's lives all over this world, transforming their lives. Not a snatch and grab, what can I get from you? But a transformation, a mind shift, right? When you wake up in the morning, are you releasing those thoughts of, well, it's just an ordinary day? No, it's a day for greatness, to walk into your championship greatness. Because let me tell you something, when you get dressed, how do you get dressed? Because I'm going to bring a new thought to you right now. When you're dressing yourself, you're not just dressing your outer body, you're dressing your mind. You're dressing your mind. I want you to put in the chat, dressing for greatness, dressing for greatness, dressing for greatness. What are you putting on? What type of clothing are you clothing your mind with? That's exactly who you see yourself as. I don't care what you think about yourself, but when you wake up, the actions you take in the morning and how you present yourself to the world matters. I know that there's throughout time been thoughts of, I don't care what people think about me, but I want to employ you to start caring how you think about you and knowing that how you present yourself to the world does matter. You do want people to have a positive outlook on who you are. You do want to influence people and make an impact globally. So what are you going to release from your life? What is that? We rise together, and I want to bring something to your attention. In the book, Think and Grow Rich, it talks about how to outwit the 6 ghosts of fear. And I'm going to also read that to you. The 6 ghosts of fear are you ready with your pen? I want you to write this down. The 6 ghosts of fear are poverty. Number 1, the fear of criticism. Number 2, the fear of ill health. Number 3, the fear of loss of loved ones. Number 4, the fear of loss of loved ones. Number 5, the fear of old age. Number 6, the fear of death. Now, these are all real fears. They're all real fears. But there's one more deadlier, more toxic than any one of those. And it's the fear of being susceptible to any one of these fears. Now, how is that? How is being susceptible more toxic and deadlier than any one of those? Well, let me tell you this. Yesterday we had Carlin Alford here. And he talked about how to create next level goals, how to be able to get rid of the old mindset and break through, right? He talked about PPV, right? Right? And so what was he saying? He had battled cancer. He had his leg amputated. He's gone through so much in his life and he still continues to move forward, push through, running for mayor, doing amazing things, NASCAR. I mean, the phenomenal things that he told us yesterday, right? It's because he didn't let any one of these 6 ghosts of fear stop him. He faced death several times on the deathbed, literally. And he didn't allow that open door. Remember, we talked about yesterday, he didn't allow that open door to come so that any one of these 6 ghosts can take him out. And I'm asking you, what open door do you have in your life? What door are you leaving open to make you susceptible to any one of these fears? Poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of a loved one, old age, and death. What is your fear? Well, I'm asking you to face that fear. Close all the doors, lock them. Put a bookshelf over it. Don't allow yourself to be taken over by these things. And the number one cause for these things is a thought, a single thought. Now, in this book, it also tells about you can plant a whole field of vegetables with vegetable seeds, or you can have deadly nightshade and plant deadly nightshade, but the mind will grow either one. So which one are you planting? Are you planting seeds of greatness? I can do this. I am victorious. I am on top of the world. I know that I'm worthy and can do all things through every. I am a woman of faith through Christ that strengthens me. I know that for myself. I know. But do you know? Do you know that you're great? Do you know that you can do all these? Do you know that you have seeds of greatness? Or are you thinking thoughts of nightshade? I can't do this. My house payment is too much. My car payment is too much. My friends, how am I going to make new friends? How am I going to surround myself around people who are going to believe in me if I don't even believe myself? I'm waking up late. I'm procrastinating. I'm not doing the things that I want to do. I'm sitting here crying every single day and no one is listening to me. Are those your thoughts? I want you to take a clear picture of yourself today. Today. Today is your day to break through. You've got what it takes. Release the thoughts that are holding you back of scarcity and go to prosperity thinking. You can do it. I don't care if you feel like you're in the back of the line. You will not stay there. You will lead. You will grow your seeds of greatness because one seed can turn into a whole orchard if you allow it. Take your greatness off the shelf, open that box up, put it in the dirt. It looks scary, but put it in the dirt. Because remember, I'm going to leave you with this before I bring up our powerful speaker, Tanya Powell. I'm going to leave you with this. You don't have to be great to get started. Mr. Les Brown. You don't have to be great to get started, but you do have to get started to be great. You have greatness in you. I believe in you. Now I want to bring up our wonderful speaker for today. Her name is Tanya Powell, and I want to introduce her. Tanya Powell is an international best-selling author and speaker. She is #1 best-selling author and a results coach. She empowers individuals to transform their leadership skills to create success in their personal and professional lives. Tanya has spent over 2 decades in multi-billion-dollar companies serving in senior leadership positions. She is now a certified executive and personal development coach with John Maxwell team and the CAPP Institute. She is also an international award-winning team engagement coach known as the People's Coach. Tanya believes that it is in change that you discover your purpose. All right, everyone, I want to bring up Tanya today. We're so excited. Get your pen and your paper out. You've got lots to learn and release. Tanya.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Kalisha. It is such an honor and a pleasure to be on Destination Amazing Life. Listen, you just fed me. I feel like I didn't even have to come on stage. Because look, the fire bombs are in the chat and I just love it. Thank you
Yes,
so
I
much for
know.
having me.
Absolutely. And we've got Jaspine, we got Marionette, we have Pamela, we have Irma here, we've got Nicole here, we've got so many great people here in support of the dream, Destination Amazing Life, and most importantly, your dream, Tanya, to be able to walk along with you, to be able to create great things. And guess what? All of these people on here have great dreams that they are ready to birth. And it's important that we are connected here and put our seeds in the ground and let them flourish. So I am going to step away from the stage. I'm going to allow you to just grace us with your greatness because this is a power pack woman right here, everyone. Get your pen and paper, and I'm going to let you have it. Thank you, Tanya.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Kalisha. And hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you. It really is a pleasure to be here. And I'm going to dive right in because, I only got 20 minutes and I could do this all day. So if you're hearing me and you're seeing me, just, drop it in the chat. Let me see you, seeing you clearly, hearing you, because I want this to be a conversation. And in fact, if you need to grab your journals, I want you to grab your journal. See, in listening to Kalisha and yesterday, I know that you've been motivated, you've inspired. And I want to take it to, another level, which means I'm going to ask you to write stuff down, right? That's how I do it. The Cave You Fear to Enter Holds the Treasures You Seek by Joseph Campbell. Kalisha spoke about that. And the first time I heard that quote, it stirred something in me. Because I was at a point in my life where I felt like I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing, but my results weren't showing me the effort that I thought I was putting in. And in fact, it seemed like the harder I worked, the more things were eluding me. At the time, what my definition of success was. And so what I realized is that I kept looking around, looking external for the answers, looking at what everybody else was doing. And so when I heard that quote, I thought, this is interesting. What could this possibly mean? And we know we've heard a lot of the adages. So I'm gonna unpack that a little bit because, Kalisha asked me to speak about unstoppable success, releasing the anchors. And before I get into sharing just my thoughts on how we can do that, I want us to examine some definitions a little bit. And the first definition I want us to look at is unstoppable. And unstoppable really means impossible to stop or to prevent. It's impossible. That's what unstoppable means. So then how do we become unstoppable? The first thing I want us to do is from that definition. So I'm all about reframing and rephrasing. And so from that definition of impossible to stop, I want us to pull from that word impossible, am possible. Am possible. I want you to drop that in the chat. Hashtag am possible. So that's the first definition. The second one I want to look at is the definition of failure, because we've been speaking about this. And really, the Webster Dictionary defines it as a lack of success or the inability to meet an expectation. Okay, so now let's look at success. Because the problem is that we read too much into failure, and it then determines our sense of worth, our self-esteem, our self-acceptance. These then become the anchors that hold us down. So I'm laying a little path. So the dictionary describes success as a state or condition of meeting a range of expectations. And so it stood out to me, okay, the word expectation again. So what does that mean? An expectation means believing that something should be a certain way, a particular way. We should be doing things in a particular manner, behaving and showing up. And so my question became, whose expectation then are we living up to? And so when we fail or we don't achieve success, against whose expectation? Now, I don't know if this conversation is going to be as, as riveting as Kalisha's, but I'm pulling you into a cave and it may get a little bit uncomfortable. But I want you to know that success resides outside of the comfort zone. The definition of success that I love is the one by Earl Nightingale, who is considered the godfather of personal development. And he says, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, your ideal. And so today's conversation, in talking about unstoppable success, we got to be clear about what success means to us. What does success mean to me? Not what my friends and my family and my colleagues and co-workers and the world believes that success should be for me, but what is my personal success? And so I'm going to take you through 4 steps on how to become unstoppable. It's a little bit different from the steps you've been hearing, because what I have come to learn through my experience and my story is that leading yourself is how you become unstoppable. So I'm going to share just a little bit of my story. I know that yesterday's guest speaker, who was just so powerful, we are both cancer thrivers. And so last year, I really spent the year in the midst of COVID, fighting cancer myself. Now, when I was first diagnosed, I really felt like I had hit the floor of life. And I remember as I was laying on the floor one night and I was looking up, I remembered Les Brown's quote: if you fall, try to fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. I'd heard it a million times before, but it hadn't made sense to me until in that moment as I was looking up. But what is it that I was looking up that was pulling me? What I could see was that in spite of where I was focused on my goals. I was focused on my dreams. And I thought that, well, the only way for those to come true was for me to get up and go at it. And so I started to ask myself the question, how can I grow through this instead of simply going through it? What were the lessons in this for me? And so in less than a year, I remember last year, March, as I was laying in the hospital bed, I remember the poem that I know most of us know, that the richest place on earth is not the richest place on earth is the cemetery. Not the diamond caves of South Africa, not the oil fields of Iran or Iraq, because the cemetery holds so many untapped potential, so many untapped gifts, books never written, masterpieces never painted. And I decided I was going to rob the grave of my gift, my talents. I was going to become unstoppable in my pursuit of success. And here I am today, being on the stage with Kalisha, such a powerhouse. But I've also co-authored in less than a year 4 number one best-selling books. I've graced a number of stages internationally. I don't share this to impress you, but to impress upon you that when we become so clear about what it is that we want, and when we enter the cave of who we are and become clear about what our anchors are and how we release them, then it's about unstoppable success. So I am going to dive in. I am going to dive in and just quickly go through what are the steps. So the first thing I want us to really understand is that it begins with self-leadership. And one of my coaches, Melanie and Leah, describes self-leadership as the ability to walk with duality. We are in a time where there is so much fear and chaos in the world. In fact, so many of us are so impacted by the impact of coronavirus that we're not even sure where to go, what to do. And then there are some of us who are so distracted by social media. So what is self-leadership? Self-leadership is that ability to hold whatever is going on, whatever is happening, but keep taking those steps forward. See, we don't understand light. We understand light. We see light because we knew there was darkness. We have success because there was failure. And so we want to talk about, well, then, how do I get moving, Tanya? So let's talk about that for a moment. I'm going to take you through 4 quick, easy steps. Now, you might have heard me say these before, but, we always hear Les Brown also say that, it is in hearing and hearing and hearing that it connects. So if you know you've heard these before, I still want you to just listen like you've never heard them before, because that's when we get our aha moments. That's when we get that inspiration to take some action. All right, so let's drop the anchor. So I looked up the meaning of anchor. And this was really great, because I know that when we talk about releasing the anchors, we're talking about something that is holding us down, the anchor that steadies, that holds that ship in place. But I found another definition, and this is the one I want us to tune into. Your anchor can be a person or a thing that supports you. So when the winds are when it is windy, when it is chaotic, what is that anchor, that source of strength that you hold on to? And so we want to release the concept of an anchor that is holding me down and preventing me from moving. And we want to start to think about the anchor that supports me. That is my shield. So let's talk about that. The first thing we got to do is learn, unlearn, relearn. We have to unlearn what these anchors are, the self-limiting beliefs, the fear. We battle with fear of failure. In fact, so much of our conversation is hinged around failure. I don't want to take a chance because I might fail. I don't want to do it because will I be good enough? I don't want to come on stage because I don't know if I will look good enough. How do we release those? What are those habits and behaviors that keeps us stuck, keeps us on the treadmill, doing the same thing over and over, but yet we're expecting a different result? How do we release those? How do we unlearn those? And so there's so much information. Learning has never been easier than we've seen this year. But we got to be very intentional about the information that we're learning. And so we have to now relearn those thoughts that empower us. As Kalisha said, our thoughts give rise to our feelings allows us to take some action, our action give us results. And so I want you to write this tip down. I'm going to go through quickly. The action tip for learn, unlearn, relearn. What are you studying? Who are you listening? Who are you calibrating up to? Who are your coaches, your mentors? How are you keeping out the distractions so that you remain focused and intentional on your dreams and on your goals? And the second step is it's about our lifetime. We gotta evolve and transform. We gotta take the information, not just sit on it, but how do we then now apply it to our life to become unstoppable? See, taking action is not about not having fear, but taking action, the duality of it is feeling that fear, but taking that first step. Because we feel the fear, we know that we have courage. And so it's about stepping into the courage. One foot, maybe in fear, the other foot in courage. And we keep going and we keep rising. As Kalisha says, we rise. Because it's in our transformation that we inspire others, that we grow, that we evolve. And I want you to think about this quote by Dennis Waitley. He says, it's not who you are that holds you back. It's not who you are that is the anchor that holds you back, but it's about who you believe you are not. And in fact, Henry Ford says, if you think you can or you think you can't, you are correct. So who are you believing that you are? 2 years ago, I did not believe that I could be a #1 best-selling author. I did not believe that I could be an international motivational speaker. And until I connected with my coaches, until I got into the right community that allowed me to start releasing those limiting beliefs and start believing bigger, to believe that there's that seed of greatness within me, here I am today. And the third step is we got to master our attitude, our thoughts, our feelings, our actions. And the first step to doing that is we want to practice and master just calm of mind, getting quiet, connecting to that seed, that greatness within us. We are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. And with that, all things are possible. Drop in the chat again, I am possible. And we've got to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Why? Because gratitude connects us to our source. But for me, it's God. For you, it may be universe, energy. But there's a source that fuels us, that brings resources to us. And being grateful for what we have now, saying thank you for what I have now, you get some more. Now, here's an anchor that I want you to release. So I've coached a number of women, especially women. And one of the things that I recognize is that we know how to give and give and give. But when it comes time for us to receive, for some reason, suddenly we're not worthy. And so think about a simple compliment. Somebody gives you a simple compliment. Tanya, I love your dress. Oh, this whole thing? We're not receiving. And what that does is that, one, it prevents the person who is giving you from receiving their blessing. But what it also does for us is that it anchors us in not being able to receive bigger. So that's an anchor I want us to release. Receive our blessings, make room for it. And the fourth and final step that I want to talk about is, ladies and gentlemen, we got to make a decision on what it is that we want in our lives. And we got to remain committed to it and believe that it is possible. See, Mary Morrissey tells this story, and it just popped in, and I'm going to share it and then, get back to Kalisha so we can have a discussion, is that a young man went fishing. And when he looked upstream, he saw an older gentleman fishing also. But then he noticed that every time the older gentleman caught a nice big fish, he would throw it back in the lake. And the young man, observed that over and over and until he got really, really curious. Eventually, he went to the old man and he said, "Well, why do you keep putting back the bigger fishes? Is it that when you cook them, they don't taste as good? Is it that they're too old? Is it, what is it? Why is it that you keep throwing back these bigger fishes?" The old man said, "Well, do you see this ruler that I'm using? This ruler is the exact size of my frying pan at home. And so if the fish is bigger than this ruler, then I'm going to throw it back." No. The first time I heard that story, I was like, well, that's incredulous. Wait a minute. What's the frying pan of our lives that we're living from? Are we so fixated on the smallness of a circumstance, this small frying pan that we have, that as we're getting bigger dreams, we're even afraid to dream, we're throwing back the bigger things and we're settling for what can fit in the small frying pan? We're spiritual beings. We were meant to be more, do more, have more. And so to release that anchor of living in this little frying pan, we got to believe that. We got to commit to that. Because our soul says, grow, grow, grow. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to, shift into a conversation. So let us learn, unlearn, relearn. Let us evolve and transform. Take the information and apply it to our lives. Let's master our attitude. Make the decision on what it is that we truly, truly want in life. We don't have to see the first step. We don't have to see the entire staircase, just the first step. And so I want to leave you with this new definition of anchor. Anchor is my faith, my belief, the persons who support me, so that I can now become unstoppable in my success. And I can proudly say, I am possible. As Kalisha said, you have greatness within you. So let's rise. Let's rise. Let's lean into the right anchors and let's go after our success. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Woo! I am just so taken away, Tanya. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I hope that everyone here, I hope your hands just hurting because you've just been taking so many notes and writing so much at such a great speed. Tanya, I want to thank you so much for being transparent about, your story and for telling so many amazing, just legendary stories about how we, if we let our mindset and our thoughts hold us back, then we'll just be like that fish being thrown back in, and wondering, why are we not getting the results that we really want in our lives?
Absolutely.
That we really, just prayed for so long. Why aren't they not coming true? Because we're treating our life like that pan and not allowing ourselves to even receive all the great things that life has to offer. So I want to thank you so much. I do have some questions for you. If anyone here, this is an interactive portion right now. So if you have questions, drop them in the chat. You will get your questions answered by Tanya. And I have some questions for myself as well.
Yes.
Right? So as you have evolved and transformed your life, what's the most profound memory that you have had?
Oh, wow. So, as I talk about evolution and transformation, it's, I really latched on to that concept from one of my coaches, Coach Melanie. And it is about, as I get to the end and I look back, what does that legacy what do I want that legacy to look like? What would I want to leave behind? And at first, we don't want to go so far. But as I thought about it, and I got into the space here and started to apply
Mhm.
and shift my mindset, I think what really has jumped out at me, Kalisha, is that simple shifts, just even shifting your thought process, can create so much in your life. But the thing for me is that in doing this, you become so open to the relationships in your life. And so just being able to deepen the relationships with my family, my spouse, has just been incredible. And getting that kind of a support to then do what it is that you want to do. Because what I've truly come to realize is that it's in your transformation, that you inspire others to do the same. It's in your transformation that other people can say, well, if it's possible for her, it's possible for me. And I think that um, really is what has stood out for me. I have so many persons reaching out to me, whether it's to say, well, how did you get the opportunities to be in these anthologies? How did you get on stage? How you've lost so much weight? And then that's when I realized that it's by seeing what I am doing that inspire others to their greatness. And for me, that's what leadership is, leading other leaders to their best selves.
Absolutely. Wow. How profound. Thank you so much for sharing that. And really, just like you're saying, by you taking those steps, it really silently gives other people
Mhm.
permission to give themselves permission to step forward into their greatness too. And I want everyone to write this down. It happens in the mind first
Yes.
and then in your outer world. It happens in the mind first and then in your outer world.
You know
Because
how I said, Kalisha, we have this saying, seeing is believing,
mhm,
but it's the other way around. You got to believe it before you can see it.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
see, I believe that's the trickiest part. That's the
Yeah.
part that gets the majority because it's like saying, okay, well, I want you to step out of this door and walk up that staircase. But guess what? The staircase isn't there until you take the first step. And as soon as
Yes.
you put your foot down to take that first step, the staircase appears. And that's exactly everyone listening onto this conference. How did Tanya, my apologies, how did Tanya get these opportunities? How did Tanya walk into her greatness just so amazingly? Well, because she believed that the staircase was there before she saw it. And guess what? After she did that, the next step appeared. And excuse me, the same it will do the same in your lives. As soon as you take that step, the opportunities are already there waiting for you. What you're seeking is seeking you, and it's
Yes.
just waiting for you to take that step. But guess what? If you look out that door and you expect to see a staircase before you make a move, you're always going to be in the house.
Yeah.
Isolation is the easiest place to attack you.
Yeah.
When you're
And
not
I want to
connected
add,
to people.
Kalisha, I want to add also to that, we there's a whole nother thought that I give about failure. We also have to get to the place where we see failure as a part of the one side of the coin, and
Mhm.
not be afraid of it, to be able to walk in that duality. I remembered one day when I can't recall who I was listening to, and it suddenly struck me. And I'm sure everybody here has a story and have been through some stuff. And it hit me that, girl, you've been through cancer and you're still here. What are you afraid of? It may not be cancer for you. And I've been through depression and whatnots. It may be something else, but the point is, you have been through so much and you are still standing. You are still here. And if we sit and we start to look at all the lessons you've learned, those are the things that have made you wiser, stronger, more purposeful, being able to step out in faith. Now, if you didn't have a breakdown, if you didn't have a failure, if you didn't have rough times, you wouldn't have learned that. And so, a big part of it in my mindset, being coached even by John, was opening up my mind to just taking action and not being afraid that it may not work out how I saw it, but also believing that it will work out exactly how it is supposed to.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so powerful because it seems when you're telling this story, you've gone through so many, breakthroughs within that. A lot of times those look like doors to us, but you seem to have not um, let it get you so afraid that you were not opening those doors. And a lot of times when we see a door, we think it's just shut. But you, Tanya, you actually turned the knob and saw that it was unlocked and broke through the other side. And that leads me to my next question for you. So, my next question is, as you battled with cancer, what are some anchors that you released through the process?
Oh my goodness. So I love quotes. You may have realized how much I love quotes, right? So here is another one. And I want everybody to write this one down. This one is by Albert Einstein, and it says, adversity introduces man to himself. A lot of my clients are women, so I say, adversity introduces woman to herself. And in the middle of my cancer diagnosis, I really had to take a hard look at myself. How did I get here? And as I'm doing the mindset work, and this is when I was really being introduced to mindset and the concept of taking 100% responsibility for my life, the results in my life, whether consciously or unconsciously, because we are always coming up with results. I'm like, well, how did I get here? We're talking about cancer here. How did I cause this on myself? And I'm not saying I caused it on myself, but then I had to really stop and look at, well, what is really going on with you? Because Bob Proctor says, stress, anxiety, fear, doubt, those types of energy leads to dis-ease in the body. And then the dis-ease in the body leads to disintegration. And I found myself in disintegration. And so when I started to look at the anchors that I had, in fact, my cancer counselor actually said to me, she said, Tanya, I don't know, but I feel like your cancer was God's tap on your shoulder. Of course, I was like, well, he didn't have to hit so hard. And she was like, I'm pretty sure he was trying to get your attention before and she said that because you were not living the life and living the dreams that you had. You were suppressing everything. Why was I doing that? Fears. I may not be good enough. I won't look good enough. I am too fat. I am too this. I want to speak, but I'm not going to look good on stage. And there were those anchors that were really holding me back. And I would go to conference after conference after conference. And I would sit in that audience and I would say, that's going to be me one day. The first time I saw Les Brown live was, gosh, I'm going to date myself now, was way back in 1992. And I sat in that audience and I said, I'm going to do that one day. It's what, 20 odd years later? So the fears and just not recognizing that success is about you and your desires. I had to release even the thought that, well, I don't know what I want. I come across a lot of persons. What are your dreams and your goals? I don't know. We know. That's a big one I had to release. So I think the anchors I had to release was also just trusting myself and trusting the presence and power of God within me, that everything is possible.
That
Yeah.
is so wonderful. And everything is possible. Thank you for sharing that because, everyone, just like she's saying, being able to release that mindset of fear right? False evidence appearing real. That is the acronym for fear. False evidence appearing real. It's false. It's presenting to you evidence as if it's appearing real, but it's really not. It's a smokescreen so that you cannot move forward. You know, if I asked the question yesterday, Tanya, if you were the enemy, how would you defeat you? Right? Because if you can figure out how you could be defeated by someone else, then that is the open door you've got to shut. You've got
Yeah.
to build yourself in that area very strong. And how do you do that? You connect with people who are stronger than you, or you know, and it doesn't, and that's in a sense, it may come off seeming as though you're weaker, but that's not what this is about. We are talking about people who can lift you up, right? They lift you up and stretch you and grow you. And that goes into my next question. So connecting with great minds allows you to stretch yourself and grow and positions you to lead, right? And everyone, how is she leading? How is she doing all this? Because she connected herself with great minds who helped her stretch and grow. And so I would like to know, who's that person in your life that stepped in and helped you to grow and positioned you to lead in your life?
Yeah, that's so amazing. Such an amazing question, Kelisha. You know, I have always worked in the people industry and have always had mentors. You know, but I think in recent times, just leaning into my coaches, I have invested heavily in my growth, in my development, in my learning. I'm never without a coach. I am a coach, and I am a leadership and personal development coach, and I am never without a coach. And I have coaches for different areas of my life. You know, Denise Nicholson is my book coach. So apart from doing my anthologies, I'm coming out with my own book. Denise Nicholson is my book coach. You know, John Tallarico is my business coach. You know, I lean into Cheryl Wood and Les Brown as speaking coaches. Tasha Chen as a mindset coach. And so for me, being able to lean into coaches and mentors, including what I'm reading, what I'm listening. But the funny thing is that 7 months before, just before I was diagnosed with my cancer, I was actually being my mom's caregiver as she was battling cancer. And we had developed what we call a recipe for thriving through adversity. You know, and we had this recipe, and it was our every single morning, our prayer and meditation, you know, our gratitude practice, not just saying, you know, thank you, I'm alive, but writing down, you know, our exercise, what we were listening to, journaling, the people around us. And it's so funny that it was like going through that experience with her and just watching her handle it with such grace and humility and strength that said to me, whoa, you can do anything, you can get through anything. So, you know, the answer for that is there's no one person, but I think people come into our lives for different reasons, different seasons, but we have to be open to allowing the right people in, the right messages in, and to take them, you know, to evolve and transform.
Wow, beautifully said, beautifully said. We've got Irma here, we've got Marionette, we've got Jasmine, amazing message, Tanya, thank you. We have Popola, she has recipe for thriving. You've got so many people who are just taking in all this great, valuable knowledge and really, applying it to their lives and moving forward because they know they can do, be, and have anything they want. I do have one more question before we, say thank you and really we wish we could just have you on here for days and days to come, but I'm sure that the blessing will be able to thrive and rise along with what we're doing. So my last question for you is, what is your favorite quote and why?
Oh my gosh, Kalisha, really? My favorite quote and why? Ay, 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 ay. Oh my gosh, that. Mm. All right, so for today, my favorite quote is, if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right.
Mm.
And I like that for the season that I'm in now, because it really just says life is an experiment. You can't fail at it. It's an experiment. You don't fail at experiments. You just find ways of not doing or find better ways of doing. And so when I think about that quote, it leads me to that, to say, you know, it comes from up here, my mind, whether I think I can do it or I can't do it, I am correct. So which am I going to choose? Faith and fear both demand that we believe in something we can't see. So where am I going to focus? And so I love that quote for this season of my life, because it's about focus, it's about intentionality, and it just reminds me that it's very, as Tony Robbins says, another quote, where your focus goes, your energy flows. And so for this season, when I'm next on your stage, I may have another quote, but this is how we take things and we apply them so that we grow and transform. Yeah. So, yes, that one for now.
Woo! You are a woman of quotes. She speaks in quotes, everyone. She speaks in quotes. She is so profound. Thank you so much for sharing. I love that. Whether you think that you can or you can't, you are right. And that's correct. It's all in your thinking. It's all in, how you perceive your world. And remember, this is about taking a lead in your life. Just like Tanya has said yes to opportunities. I always tell people, you pass over opportunities repeatedly when you are not getting the results that you want. The acronyms for poor: passing over opportunities repeatedly. How many opportunities have you been offered, even within this conference, that you are not compounding on and maximizing your time on and stretching yourself on and applying it to your life on? I want you to be able to take the opportunity to bet on you, because what? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Thank you so much, Tanya. It was such a plum pleasing pleasure to have you here. We are so excited to have you, and it is an honor. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Wow, wow, wow. I am so excited. I know that I see fire in the chat. Love it, Tanya, Jaspine, Popola. Tanya, come on now. You are amazing. Marionette. Oh my, Irma, I see you in there, Irma. Delisha Murray, awesome job, Tanya. This chat is full of fire and love, hearts. Oh my goodness gracious. There's Nicole is in here. This is amazing. I am astounded at the fire that has been brought today, because you know what? We really do have greatness in us, but it's those opportunities that are hidden in plain sight when we choose not to open our eyes to what we really have, our purpose, our passion, being able to move forward. And we are going to just go over that, being able to release those anchors and unleash our greatness. Tanya hit the nail on the head the entire time. I hope that you were taking notes. Like I said, I hope your hand is just hurting right now because you've been taking so many notes to apply. That's the key. Application. Apply this to your life immediately. So I want to just help you to continue to release that greatness inside of you. Release and unleash your greatness and soar like an eagle. Do you know that an eagle flies so high into the sky, right? This eagle flies so high into the sky. But when the eagle is soaring through the sky, sometimes ravens get on the eagle's back. It gets on its back and starts pecking away at this eagle. Now, what does the eagle do? Does he fight back? Does he shrug them off? No. The eagle flies higher. That's right. The eagle doesn't fight the raven. He doesn't say, get off. I own these wings. No, 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 no. The eagle flies higher and higher and higher. And eventually, the higher the eagle rises, if you're catching on, you're that eagle. Eventually, the higher the eagle rises, the raven's oxygen supply gets cut off. And he simply falls away. Are you being that eagle in your life? When things are trying to peck at you, are you flying higher? Or are you getting caught up in a circumstance? When you can't pay your bills, when you don't have the help that you truly want, when people are not giving you the responses in life that you're looking for, when you're trying to grow your business and it just keeps seeming that you're in that frying pan. Well, are you throwing back the fish because your frying pan looks too small? These are great questions that, were touched on today. And I hope you look at the direction of your life. Where is it going? I encourage you to fly higher. When those circumstances try to knock you down, fly higher. When those people say you can't do it, you're not good enough, fly higher. Whenever you get a bad response from somebody, you're just having a tough day and you go to the store and people just don't treat you right, you don't get the service that you truly should have, fly higher. Your kids and your husband and your partner and whoever that is in your life doesn't believe in you at the level that you know your greatness lies in, fly higher. Do not lower yourself. Do not let people take you out of character because they will try. But I employ you to fly higher. Soar, spread your wings further. Connect with the oxygen supply that you deserve at a very high level. You can do this. You can make your dreams come true, become a reality. But remember, if your dream is sitting on that shelf looking nice and pretty and it's not in that dirt, don't expect anything out of it. You only get in life what you get out of life, what you put in life. You only get out of life what you put in life. And take notes on this. Not everyone can have the same access to you in your life. And not everyone can come with you. Today, there's some people who you need to say access denied. And there's some people today that you need to say access granted. You need to open up your doors to people who can support you. You need to close your doors to people who undermine who you are. And, eagles are the most majestic and high soaring birds, most majestic. And I want to tell you, there's something that I made note of. That's how God sees you. He sees you as an eagle. And let me tell you, eagles only feed on fresh, living food, while buzzards feed on dead things. Vultures, crows, they feed on anything, including dead carcasses. Are you feeding on a dead carcass? Are you feeding on lively things, on fresh thoughts, on prosperity thoughts, on prosperity lifestyle? What are you feeding on? Stop trying to hold on to dead ashes when you have something alive right here. Move forward. Move forward in your greatness. Your destiny is here. It doesn't await for you up there. It's here and now. It's today, because today is the only thing that you have right now in this moment. And if we're going to soar like eagles and be all that God has created you to be, then we have to feed on the goodness of life. Connect with some people. I want you today to connect with 5 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. 5 people today that can help support you in your goals, support you in your dreams, and help you to be all that you are created to be. There's some things that I want to touch on. I want to touch on these very important aspects because you need to know all along your journey. Now, there's some things out of this book again, Think and Grow Rich. If you have not read it, go and get the book because it is a source of prosperity. It will lead you to your greatness. Okay? So, I'm going to read you something. To protect yourself against negative influences. How do I do that? Well, listen up. To protect yourself against negative influence, whether of your own making or a result of the activities of negative people around you, recognize that you have a willpower. All right, you have a willpower, and put it into a constant use until it builds a wall of immunity. All right, you want to quarantine something? Quarantine your mind. All right, until it builds a wall of immunity against negative influences in your own mind. Recognize the fact that you and every human being by nature are lazy, indifferent, and susceptible. Remember that 7th fear, that 7th ghost, the most deadly? You and every human are susceptible to all suggestion, which harmonize with your weakness. Ooh. I'm going to read that one more time. Recognize the fact that you and every human being are by nature lazy, indifferent, and susceptible to all suggestions which harmonize with your weakness. That means who is in your inner circle? Who is in your inner circle? There was a movie that I watched, and they were, in combat, and there was someone who was from the opposing side, the enemy side, in their inner circle, giving them all the information, feeding all the information back to the enemy. And they said this. There was a person who came to the person in leadership within that circle, and they said, there's a mole in here. There's a mole. That means there's someone ratting us out. There's someone who is giving us up, giving us away, who's stopping us from moving forward. There's an infection, a viral infection in here. There's a mole in here. Who's that mole in your life? Who's the mole who's stopping you from moving forward in your inner circle? But you love them so much, but you're so kind and you're so sweet and you don't want to let them go and you don't want to hurt their feelings. And I've known them for my whole life, my family, my friends, my kids know them. How am I going to just disconnect like that? Guess what? Either you disconnect with them or you disconnect with your dream, your lifestyle that you truly want. Choose. You choose. Disconnect from one or the other. Your prosperity or to that person who you know is the mole in your inner circle. These are just profound things that I want to share because we must move forward in excellence. In excellence. Here's something for self-analysis. If you're thinking, well, do I really have these qualities? Am I really holding on to anchors in my life? Well, let me ask you this. Do you complain often or feeling bad? And if so, what's the cause? Do you find fault with other people at the slightest provocation? Are you provoked often and you just feel at fault? Do you frequently make mistakes in your work? And if so, why? Why is that you're making mistakes? Are you off balance because someone's keeping you off balance? Are you having thoughts in your mind that are keeping you off balance? Do you like what you do right now, your occupation? If not, why? What is it that you truly want to get doing? And the last one, are you gaining or losing self-confidence as you grow older? And if so, ask yourself why? Who's in my inner circle? What's going on in this mind? There's someone called the old man if. If I didn't have a wife and family, I'd do this. If I had enough pool, if I had enough money, if I had enough education, if I had a job, if I had health, if I had time, if I were better, if people understood me more. Let go of old man if. There's no if. There's only now. And you can make your goals and dreams come true. You can, just by believing in yourself, believing that you can truly have, do, be, or have whatever it is that you want. You truly can make the framework for your life. If you hear me, I want you to put yes in the chat, yes in the chat, yes in the chat, yes in the chat. Come on, we are on fire today because we have goals, we have dreams. We are here to knock these things out. No more will I be held back by mediocrity. No more will I have these anchors that are holding me down, not being able to release my greatness. If it's time for me to be able to speak, I will speak. If it's time for me to be able to uplift someone else, I will uplift and empower. If it's time for me to be able to walk in my greatness by just dressing myself, because I know that dressing myself does not just mean on my outer world, but I'm dressing my mind for success. I'm ready to unleash my greatness. I'm ready to level up my goals and dreams. I'm ready to release those anchors. I'm ready to step into the man or woman that I'm called to be. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I left old man if back there. Are you ready? Are you ready to take that next step into your greatness? If you are, I want you to put, I'm ready. I am ready in the chat. I am ready in the chat. I am ready. Are you ready to come along? Destination Amazing Life is a movement to design the life that you truly want to live. Putting the line in the sand and saying, no more will anything hold me back. No more. Remember, your dream, your goal, that is the seed ready to give birth. And the only way for you to give birth to that is to take that seed out, put it in the dirt. Their circumstances don't look right. There's not enough money. There's not enough time. The people aren't acting right. I'm not being treated well. Oh, well, I'm putting my goals and dreams and I'm putting in the dirt. I'm not running away anymore. I'm not running away from relationship to relationship and finance and bank to bank and making excuses for my life and keep apologizing for every little thing that I do. And I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm done. Take it. My seed is in the ground. Put the dirt on it. I will rise. Cover me. I'll break through. I dare you. I dare you to make that move today. Call that person. It may seem, and see, this is the problem. It's in the silence. You want the noise. You want the music and the cheering and everything, but what's done in the silent is applauded in the public. So it's in the silent where you get those fearful thoughts. Go outside. Get some energy. Get some light on you and make the call. Stop sitting inside, getting on your couch in that dark place. Get outside. Get out where you can shine your greatness. You make that phone call like this. You spread your arms. You are Superman and Superwoman, and you make that call. You make that text message. You send that email. Whatever it is that you need to do, stretch yourself. This is the time. 2022 is not here, and neither are you. You're not done. You're not done. It's time to release your greatness. It's time for you to step out into who you are destined to be. I got Marionette, Nicole, Jaspine, Irma, Delisha Murray. We've got greatness in here. I've got Vincent Gonzalez. He said, "Facts fire." There you go, because you know you have greatness, and it's time to unleash your greatness. I've got so many people in here. I'm ready. Irma says, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Vincent Gonzalez, put your seed, your dream in the dirt. Only way it can grow is in the dirt. Yes, Vincent, this is a man who is armored with strength, armored with goals and dreams and aspirations. This is the chairman right here you're speaking to, right there. You want seeds of greatness? These are the people that you should connect to. I got Tanya Powell, power up. Woo! Yeah, this is how we live our lives. And it's not just from the stage here. It is going to filter out into everything that you do and everyone who you connect with. And I want you to say, I'm ready. We got Marionette saying, I'm ready. Put it in the chat. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. We are about to close out this conference right now. But before we do, I want you to say, I'm ready. If you are ready to take that next step into your life, step into your greatness and know who you really are called to be. I want you to put in that chat, I'm ready. I am ready. I am ready. I've got Marionette. The seed is in the dirt. Jasmine, I'm ready. Listen to me. There's no one or nothing that can stop you. No one or nothing that can deny the one who refuses to be denied. You've got greatness in you. Woo! You truly do. And I'm sending my love out here. Destination Amazing Life. Here we come. Here we are. We are building the lives we truly want to live. Thank you so much. My name is Kalisha Worrell. You can connect with me at KalishaWorrell.com. All my social media handles, Kalisha Worrell. Thank you so much. I'm sending my love. I will see you here tomorrow with Pamela Hinkle. She is so amazing. She is a fire-driven, power-packed woman, and you are going to receive so much from her tomorrow. If this hand is hurting today, then you better write with this hand tomorrow. Guess what? You're going to be ambidextrous, and your greatness is going to be released even greater. So get ready for tomorrow because you are going to be on the edge of your seat. I love you all. Have a great day.